Kyle reviewed. Like and subscribe.
Hey guys, just finished watching Supergirl, Season 5, Episode 2, Stranger Beside Me. So this episode was okay, dealing with John's brother, evil brother and stuff, and I hope they're not setting him up as the big bad and stuff. I mean, we also have the stuff going on with Lena Luthor, which she's trying to get back at Kara and stuff, and it just seems a little cliche the way they're doing it a little bit. When they haven't even started it, it's only episode 2, so they haven't even showed us what she wants to do or how she wants to do it, but it just seems like it's the obvious cliche-ness where she's going to go, oh, I'm going to trust someone, and then that person's going to turn on me, so we'll have to wait and see as to where things kind of go. Hopefully, obviously Lena's eventually going to team up with Andrea's, Rosa, something like that, and then maybe to take down Supergirl and stuff. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things kind of go with all that, but that storyline is just kind of not getting me interested. And the John Jones storyline with his brother, it's really not going anywhere. I really don't like where that's going. It kind of seems just repetitive of the struggles he had with his father, and all the other white Martians that we've seen, and I feel like we've played with villainous Martians and stuff a few times now. So I'd like to see something different, and so we'll have to wait and see as to where things go. But it seems like they're setting up John Jones' brother as as the villain for the season, which has kind of got me disappointed. And I kind of wish that they had because we still have things left over from last season that we still haven't picked up on. Was it Leviathan or something like that? And I think so we'll have to wait and see as to where things kind of go with all that. But I'd like to see, I wish this season kind of focused a bit more on Crisis, because I know we're going to be focusing a bit on Flash and then a bit on a lot on Arrow and stuff, but they should be focused on it on all the shows, because it's Crisis Infinite Earth. It's going to affect every Earth. It's not going to affect mainly one Earth. Now you could say it affects an Earth a bit more, being that, that Oliver and Barry are on Earth 1, but it would also have some effect on Earth 38. So I think that would have been quite interesting playing with that, just seeing as to how things go. Because if I'm not mistaken, we still have to wait and see as to where Superman is. I forget where he last left off, but I think he might be gone to see Kara's mother there with Lois, because she's pregnant with his child, and she can't be on Earth, otherwise the superpowers will just kill her, right? When the child gets exposed to sunlight, right? So I think that would be something that we need to kind of touch upon that in this season. I'm hoping to get some sort of teases and to kind of see how things go. Maybe start hearing about the antimatter wall, or slowly build up. So the antimatter wall maybe popping up on different Earths and stuff, and slowly things kind of fading away in this stuff. Maybe showing us news clips of things going on. As we enter in a scene, we start off with the news clip, and someone's talking about how this things are disappearing. Farmers losing his cows are just disappearing, things like that. And very early stuff on kind of small things that are not really noticeable with whatever other storyline is kind of going on, and slowly teasing that would have been something I would have liked to have seen from the get-go of all these shows, rather than just driving into it for the Crisis and that's it. It feels like at this point we're going to be getting another regular crossovers where Barry or someone's going to come up and just say, hey, we need you, come help us, and then they're going to find out about the Crisis. And that's just okay, that just kind of, I don't like it when they do things like that, because, we know what Supergirl is going to be, her episode's going to be part of it and stuff, so she should be the first episode to be actually part of it, but to have it be very much all of a sudden they just all show up and say, we need your help type thing from one episode to the next. It's almost as if you watch it and you're not able to you'd be able to watch it and skip it and still just continue on the season storyline. I hate for the Crisis to just kind of pause what's going on here, do Crisis, and then continue on to it, and then you can continue on as if nothing ever happened. Or they get back after the Crisis and they're like, yeah, we're all on the same Earth now, end of story type thing. Move on. So you don't really need to watch it. You just need to know that they're all on the same Earth at the end of it. That would be disappointing. I'd much rather have a build-up on it on all shows, so that everyone watching any bits, whether you're a casual viewer of one of the shows, it's so much a part of these seasons that it makes even the super casual viewer hooked into it and need to watch the Crisis. Because sometimes some people just skip these big crossovers. I guess there's a small amount of people who would do that because it just gets too convoluted and they're not followed up on all the other shows. I think they need to put more effort into making sure that, if you're going to skip the crossover, you should skip this entire season. So I think that would be the way I would have done it, is having the Crisis be the focus point of all seasons of all shows. But we'll have to wait and see. We still don't even have any so many people announced for Crisis. We still don't have Dean Cain or Helen Slater announced yet, or even rumored to come back. I mean, there's a fan speculation that they would love to see those guys back in their costume, but I don't know. It would be nice to see as to where things go. It would be nice to see Dean Cain back, whether just as regular Jeremiah or Helen Slater back. We haven't seen her in a while. I think those are things I'd like to see. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go, but not interested. So there is some talk about James Olsen trying to getting into politics and stuff, since he has lots of job offers after being at Catco. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, of course, it's James Olsen. That's the thing that kind of bothered me in the last episode. So they just signed contracts without reading the kind of the policies. It seems to me that they would have they would have read that policy and go, oh, if I get fired, I can't work for anywhere else. I'm not signing that, and go straight away and work for someone else. So why would James didn't read that in his contract? And of course, he's connected to Superman, wouldn't he be able to do stuff? And why not, ghostwrite for someone for a little bit, right? Right under a pseudonym or right under someone else. He writes all these articles, gives it to another reporter. The reporter, gives it to his column and takes the name, right? So he's still doing the stuff, but just on the down low until his the 3-year is up and he can come back to journalism, right? So they find John on the floor in this episode, like he said, his brother. I'm not really sure I'm really liking that storyline. It just seems like repetitive of the struggles he had with his father and all the other white Martians and green Martians that we've dealt with before. I really don't like this storyline. I feel like it's kind of getting repetitive in the same kind of thing. We see Kara's forced to work on fashion and stuff. And she's like all worried about she has to juggle. She's giving 2 assignments at a time to do type thing. And she's Supergirl. She should be able to do that. It should be nothing. What about where did the, as Perry White said in Superman, was it Superman? Yeah, the Christopher Reeve Superman movie is like, my God, I've never seen anyone type faster than you. That would be something that she should be, like the fastest journalist to get her story out there because she's able to type so fast, right? I don't know why she's not able to do that. Type it from her house and just super type it, right? At super speed, right? That would make way more sense than doing that. And having all this stuff. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things kind of go with that. But that's it's okay. I like that storyline of her kind of dealing with her new boss. We see that John's missing some memories and stuff, so we'll see where that goes. We see that William Day is kind of trying to trying to track and find track Kara type thing, and he follows her, and then he finds Supergirl, and he doesn't put 2 and 2 together. Oh my God, how does he not do that? He seems like the perfect type of guy who's going to put 2 and 2 together with not enough. He followed Supergirl, he followed Kara and finds Supergirl. Why would he not go to his boss there, where Andreas? She would totally print that Kara is Supergirl, end of story. And they don't seem like the type of people that really need much more evidence than that, type thing. And then, or at least starting getting them on the trail to build up some evidence before they can prove it, right? I think that it just seems kind of silly that he didn't even notice that. They made that. What was the point of him finding Supergirl and not finding Kara if he wasn't going to try and put 2 and 2 together, try and build a story on that, right? So we'll have to wait and see where things go, but it's kind of silly that they didn't play with that. And if they should have teased it in this episode that he's put 2 and 2 together, without, otherwise it seemed like they're going to drag that story on too long. We see that Malefic was sent to the Phantom Zone, so that's kind of interesting seeing that. At one point, Kara's fighting, John's brother, who's disguised as Alex, and he brings his sister on his motorcycle as guardian. Like, oh my God, how silly was that? Why would he bring her to that situation like that? What would have made sense is if he tried to take off, said, "Hey, stay back," and then she followed in her own car. Even though he told her not to, right? That would have made more sense. But him bringing her just to this fight scene and stuff is kind of silly. Also, him showing up before the fight's even over, or being able to even catch up to these two super. A Martian and a Kryptonian flying around type thing. They would get to one location, all of a sudden they'd be gone, and he wouldn't be able to do anything. So that's just kind of silly. How did he get fully dressed and get on his motorcycle and all that stuff? Does he just keeps that in the office at Catco somewhere? And where does he hide that at Catco? So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go. But that was kind of silly with James. We see Lena is kind of experimenting on Eve Tessmacher, so that's really cool. She ends up putting her like Siri type thing, her digital assistant, inside of Eve, so that'll be quite interesting dealing with that. It'll be interesting to see how they play with things with this character, especially with the actress being pregnant throughout the shooting. So, if I'm not mistaken, she's had her child already, or she's very close to having her child. So, it could be interesting to see as to how much we get of Eve Tessmacher and things like that. So, let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Okay, Kyle has a YouTube channel called Kyle Reviewed. It's about Marvel and DC. I happen to know a little bit about DC since my initials are DC. All right, so if you like Kyle's interviews and videos and reviews and everything like that, then like and subscribe. If you don't like them, well, maybe you're just not a comic book fan.